As always, waiting for YouTube to catch up. There they are. Always waiting for. There we are. And we got audio, so that means we're all good to go. I need to change one setting. All right. Okay, we are live from Cabot, Arkansas. It's Sunday afternoon. The show is answering your financial questions live with Ramsey Solution Certified, Coach Steve Money, that's me. And this is episode number 95. Alrighty. Shameless plugs. First, if you go to my channel, youtube.com/coachstevemoney, you can check out the past live streams, of which most times it'll be financial, but occasionally some game live streams as well. But answering your financial questions would be this show, and there's a whole playlist to that. I also do some shorts, which are clips from these individual shows. What else? The Ramsey Show After Show. I have two of those coming up in later this month on the 19th and 21st of June. And there are 373 of those, so plenty of financial goodness there. And in between those is the music playlist, and I have about 9 or so Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including the one that dropped a week ago today, and that's You Belong Dead Free. You belong dead free. So give those a listen if you are so inclined. Now let's get started. So before we go into the questions today, we're going to wrap up a previous question from yesterday's show, and it was about rolling over a 401k to an IRA. It didn't say Roth IRA on there because I know there would be a tax event on that, but it just said regular IRA, and I did confirm that there are no taxes or penalties on rolling over a 401k to an IRA. And so basically it's if you roll whatever account to a like account, meaning a Roth to a Roth, or a traditional to traditional, as in this case, traditional 401k, not a Roth 401k, being rolled over to an IRA, not a Roth IRA, then there's no tax event or penalties. And let's see, let's go over the stuff it says here. It's good advice here. Good information. And so as far as what's best, it just depends. It just depends on what is going on. If you don't think your employer is going to go out of business and you'll have a tough time finding your account, and if your account is like at a major brokerage, for example, Fidelity or some other big brokerage, then that is not going to go anywhere either. And so that's fine to just leave it just like it is. But if you'd rather move it to your brokerage where you have like another account, or you already have an IRA account, because you don't have to open a new one to roll it over to it, you can roll it into an existing account if you already have one. And so, yeah, if it may have lower fees and more investing options at your own brokerage. And so that's what you would do, roll it over IRA. You can also roll it over to your new employer's 401k plan. In this case, the person was going to be retiring, so he was not going to be having a new plan, a new employer. So he would not have a new 401k plan. And if you want the money urgently and don't mind paying the penalty, which is, we say do not do that. You just withdraw the money, the cash from the old account, and we say do not do that. The only time you would tap a retirement account The only time you would do that is to avoid foreclosure or bankruptcy. Now, if you're in debt and you have just a brokerage account, which is a non-tax advantage brokerage account, you can certainly, especially if it's single stocks, Dave will tell you to just cash that out and pay that debt off. Because he doesn't recommend single stocks, and you will have to pay the gains on the growth on that on a regular brokerage account, just like you had to pay taxes on the contributions before you put them in, along with everything on the rest of your paycheck. All right, so let's see that we've gone through that. How to roll over, you just decide where. You open a new account, or you can use an existing one, as I said. Remember the 60-day rule. Okay, so you cannot just have it still invested and moved over and rolled over. Okay, so what you have to do in a rollover is you are selling at that point. You're selling at your old 401k. You would be selling everything and converting that to cash, and that cash stays in the 401k when you sell it, unless you pull it out. You have to pull it out, and so you would pull that out to your bank account, or maybe you can do it directly to the new brokerage, however you want to set it up. But it does have to be done within 60 days of you doing that conversion to cash. So yeah, so it doesn't like staying. But if you have great mutual funds in there, but you still want to move it over, then you have to convert it to cash, move the cash over either via putting it in your own account first, your checking account, and then transferring it to the new brokerage, or straight directly from brokerage to brokerage. You do have to do that within 60 days, as I said. And then if you like those funds, you just buy those funds again in the new brokerage. And so that's how that works. So yeah, but a lot of people think that it would just go and stay invested from place to place, and that's not true. It has to be done. Let's see. Yeah, 10% penalty for withdrawing funds if you're younger than 59 and a half, and if you have a and if you got to do it in 60 days, or it will be considered a distribution and you will be subject to taxes and that penalty if you are not 59 and a half years old. All right, so I think that is about it on that. What is the other thing? Oh yeah, a lot of people are also under the assumption that their 401k at work is like a set plan of particular funds or stocks or something like that. They ask, what are you invested in? They say, my 401k. No, that's just where the investment's being held. You have to, okay, so when you say you want to open a new account, we'll leave work out of it. We'll say you're opening your own IRA, which you should have a Roth IRA. Definitely should have a Roth IRA unless your company offers a Roth 401k, and then you could do all of your investing there, but you can still have your own Roth IRA personally as well. So say you're open a Roth IRA, okay, and you transfer the money that you want to invest from your bank to the brokerage, and now that's in your account, and it's not done then. You're not invested in anything. That's basically just like a money market account. And that may be 1% or so. It will be making, then that'll be all, unless you buy investments with it. So you have to buy, in this case, it would be for retirement. And so you would be buying managed mutual funds if you are following the Ramsey plan, but you do have to do more work than just transfer the money over to it, because the account name is not the investment. That's just where the investment is held. All right, so that put a bow in that one. So the short answer is there would be no taxes or penalties to roll the 401k to a traditional IRA. All right, more questions. Sorry, adjusting monitor slightly. Okay. Okay, we did starting to see progress yesterday, so now we're on No Momo. Maybe step 4 through 6. To take vehicle reimbursement, maybe, or cash. Make $400,000 salary, and immediately nobody can relate to this person, right? And an annual bonus of about 75K before tax. The only debt I have is a 350K mortgage. Okay. My job says that if I buy or lease a vehicle, they will reimburse me up to $1,500 a month. I have to provide a receipt monthly. Optionally, they will give me the $1,500 as added cash in my paycheck monthly, but taxes will be taken out. I drive a 2012 Honda Accord, and it's probably worth $6K. AC is broken and has to be repaired. I put as much in repairs as it's worth at this point. Well, so the issue here is you can't just blindly say, oh man, I put $6,000 of repairs into it so far, and that's enough. I got to get a new car. But see, if you've repaired all that stuff, then it's less likely that that stuff is going to break again, especially soon. And so if you've put that much into repairs, why would you want to abandon that? So, but here's the dealio. This is how it. Oh, and I already even opened it because I did see the ellipses, so I opened it when I was setting this up. But here's your justification station. Always, all aboard. I'd like to get a new car, some more luxury if possible. And right hand, where is it? A lot of folks I work with lease and suggest that I lease as well. If the people you worked with said you should jump off a bridge, would you do that as well? So, leasing, according to Car and Driver magazine, is the worst way to operate a motor vehicle. Any recommendations on going with a reimbursement or having it included as part of your salary? You have to provide a receipt monthly. You said whether you buy or lease a vehicle. If that means monthly payments, that's going to be a no thing. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. If you're following Dave's advice, you're not getting a loan even if somebody else is paying for it, reimbursing you for that. So you can see if they will give you X amount and so forth, or if they will pay you for repairs. Maybe they will, find out what they'll do for you, and you can give them the receipts on the repairs. But any thoughts on buying versus leasing? Yeah, you don't do leasing. Don't do leasing. You don't finance it. I don't know if you're familiar with Mr. Ramsey, but he would be, of course, the no debt guy. I was thinking I could get an older luxury car. Thanks for the advice. This was not meant to be sarcastic. I only recently had a large salary bump, hence the old vehicle, and we have other expenses not mentioned, as well as focusing to pay our mortgage off. This salary is also not guaranteed for long, so I'm trying to make the best decision here. Yeah, so you said the salary is not guaranteed for long. If that means also the job isn't guaranteed for long, then that means the reimbursement isn't guaranteed for long either. And so don't do any of that stuff. If you want to upgrade in car, you buy it in cash. Sell yours, which should be fine now that it's had all that repair. So, I understand there, obviously there is a point where you do not want to spend any more money on an old car, and you'd rather spend at least wait till the next time something needs to be repaired. AC you don't need. Understand steps 4 through 6. That's a point where you could get that done, but I'm on step 5. I have not fixed the AC in my car. I bought it without AC broken and was able to get it for less than $2,000 because of that. And I never bothered. I don't spend enough time in my car. Eight minutes to work. 8 minutes to the store as well. Dave talked about Reddit on a call today. Yes, he did recently. He doesn't appreciate it the same way he doesn't appreciate the bad advice on TikTok. Of course, he's on TikTok too, giving good advice. So Ramsey Solutions is on TikTok as well. And of course, some people in this Dave Ramsey subreddit also give his advice. Some people don't. People come into the Dave Ramsey subreddit for some reason and want other advice than Dave's, but they will get that. Some people in this subreddit that post will give advice opposite to what as Dave would do. And so, the internet's great and the internet's bad. Both. That's that's just the way of the internet. This is the way. All right. Haunting size 4334 skipped baby step 3. And if you skip baby step 3, baby step 3 is a big part of your financial piece, having 3 to 6 months of expenses. So why would you skip that? And it doesn't say on here skip if you want to. Let's check the actual baby steps on the Ramsey Solutions website. No, it doesn't say skip it if you want to. It doesn't say that on there. So definitely doing it wrong. 38, married with 2 kids under 4. I've always been pretty decent with my money, but didn't keep a close eye on it. I don't have any debt besides a mortgage. Okay. Lately, though, with the rising mortgage rates, we moved to a bigger house to accommodate our growing family. It's 2 kids under 4. How much room are they taking up? Oh no, we got to get a room for each of them, and then a playroom, and then a big yard, and blah, 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 blah. Anything for the kids. No matter how financially stupid it is the correct thing to say there. I don't have any debt beside. Lately, though, with rising mortgage, so what's the problem? And cost of living, it started to catch up to us. No, you moved to a bigger house, taking on more debt more house debt and a bigger payment. And when you move into a big house, you're like, oh, I need this for my new house, and I need this for my new house, and I need this for my new house. And where does that come from? That comes from your income. And so that makes it harder to get. And see, people don't think about that in advance. They don't say, I'm going to buy a bigger house, but I'm going to make do with all the furniture that I have and everything that I have already. I'm not going to buy anything for the bigger house. That does not happen. And blaming the cost of living. Pretty much living paycheck to paycheck, you're doing it wrong. So that, my friend, would mean that you are house poor at that point. Or you've let lifestyle creep get up on you big time. Got a bunch of unexpected bills earlier this year and got behind by about $6,000. Use the line of credit. So when did you move into the house? Before this year, thankfully received an income tax refund and wiped it out within a couple of months. Okay, change your withholding so they don't take as much out then, because you do not want to give the government an interest-free loan to save the money for you. You can save it on your own with no interest without the government being involved in it. All right, let's see what else we got here. Since then, we created a budget and have started to watch our finances closely. Good. Then now you know where the money went, and the money is going. I discovered the baby steps. Excellent. And we're actually already doing steps 1 through 5, except we skipped steps 3. Yeah, and that's a big one. So do not skip step 3. It doesn't say skip any. Now you can skip step 5 if you don't have kids, or if you feel like, well, they can find their own way through college. If you feel strongly about that, you don't have to do step 5. If you decide to be a renter for life, you don't have to do step 6, which is pay off mortgage early. And that would also get you out of doing step 3B, which is the down payment. Let's see. Based on our budget, I think it's going to take us about 3 years to save up an emergency fund. Why? Is that normal, or do people save up way faster? People save up way faster because they don't buy bigger houses. I really don't want to pause my kids' education fund savings to save it up faster. You're doing it wrong. All right, let's explain again. Okay, it doesn't say go, I mean, and it doesn't say this on either of the baby steps. Dave's, let's use Dave's. So it doesn't say this, and this is every show. This is every show. Step 1, 2, and 3 are done in order, one at a time. That means you do not go ahead. And if you find Dave after you're doing your financial stuff, and then you see this and you want to do the best thing possible, you will follow this and you will change what you're doing, which means no investing, no kid college, and no extra paying on the mortgage until you get the freaking emergency fund done. So, you know, I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory, but yeah, it doesn't say, in order one at a time here for steps 1, 2, and 3. And then 4, 5, and 6 are all at the same time, but only after you've done 1, 2, and 3, one at a time. And so people don't understand it, and in this kind of situation, when they're doing it incorrectly, they don't want to understand it, so it doesn't, they don't think about it that way. They basically fool themselves by not that they just think, oh, I'm gonna do all these at the same time. Some people actually think that you're supposed to do all that at the same time, right? Anyway, let's see what up there. So yeah, people do save up way faster because they don't get house poor, and so you might have to sell the house. If it's going to take you 3 years to save up an emergency fund, then you have to sell the house. But probably you just have to stop investing and stop saving for kids' college, and all that goes into baby step 3. And then once you have that done, then you start the investing and the savings for kid college. Not a lot of room to pause the retirement savings since I have a company pension that is mandatory to contribute to, and I just do a little extra outside of that. Okay, well, you would not do any extra then. You have to do the pension. I understand that. Should I keep on the path that I'm on, or pause baby steps 4 and 5 to focus on step 3? You should do the baby steps like they're supposed to be done, and that's 3 done before you start 4 and 5. I understand if the job requires that you do pension, and that is like teachers have to do that, and that's what part of why they are on the top 5 lines of employment for millionaires. That, and also teachers tend to have oh gosh, what did Dave call it? Something like, it's systems in place that you do things by. Are the more effective teachers do anyway. Just should I do? I have a line of credit I could use if an actual emergency happens. Okay, so that you missed. I mean, and this isn't here, so I'll give you a break on this one. Part of baby step 0 is you saying you will not be doing any debt anymore. Debt is off the table. You find a different way to do anything. And so I don't know how much reading or Dave videos you've seen or something like that, but if you have watched any appreciable amount of time, you know that's a no line of credit, and debt is a no from him, dog. You know that already. So, but yeah, baby steps as written is the general advice. And again, no matter, even if, a lot of people come up with it, well, even if, yeah, even if. Where does this fall in baby step? Where the business debt that is personally guaranteed fit in the baby step? Somebody has asked this question multiple times over and over, even in the Ramsey show chat last week. So probably the same person, different user IDs though, or not user IDs, usernames. But yeah, that is your personal debt. That is step 2, my friend. So you don't do business debt. You build businesses at the speed of cash. So there's no debt that Dave wants you to get into, not even for a mortgage. He won't yell at you for a mortgage for a house that you're living in, though. So, but that's the only one. He also won't yell at you if you're getting a $5,000 loan so you can sell an underwater car, so you can get rid of a $10,000 loan because it's a $5,000 reduction in debt, and so he's fine with that as well. But that's it. So there's no, oh, I have a great idea for a business, I'm going to go into debt to do it. That's a negatory. That's a no from Dave. Okay, and I asked again, and they were so nice. The mods for the Dave Ramsey subreddit were so nice. Got 3 upvotes. How about that? Maybe some more, and then the downvotes canceled them out. It's possible. What else did I want to say about that? That's that song, You Belong Dead Free. And so they let me post that here. So thanks to them. Pretty cool. Strange Refuse 1463 axes. What's more important? Hey y'all, hi guys. I didn't come from wealth, so I can relate to that. So I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Nothing wrong with making sure. My wife, 32, and I, 33, are doing decently well. Really started embracing Dave's method of radically paying off debt. Excellent. In the last 6-7 months, we have killed off $17K in student loans, one being $10K at 8% interest. We have systematically gone after the highest interest rates first, and that is not Dave's method of radically paying it off. Dave's method is smallest to largest amount, not higher interest rates. Our last one, and I'll pay it in full, either next month or early fall. What changes it from next month to early fall? We do have a car bill for $23,000, which can be paid off in. That's not a car bill, my friend. That is a loan, and that's a negatory on Dave's plan. And you talk about radical, you're selling that. Sell that and buy a car cash, and that gets you out of debt that much faster. After those 2 bills are done, we still owe $60K in student. You got too much debt. Sell the car. Let's see if there's anything else they're doing wrong. Highest interest rate. Again, we don't do highest interest rate. We do smallest to largest amount. Currently, with our very restrictive budget, we have $2,600 monthly at debt. By the end of the car, it will be $3,200. My question is, worth paying off the rest of the student debt first, or tying up that $3,200 into a mortgage? No, you do not buy a house while you have debt. And also, you must have a full emergency fund before you even start saving the down payment. We don't currently own, but live in a high cost of living area, and so another reason why you should not do this. All the homes $375. Yep, that's close to $3K mortgage, about $1,000 less than half our monthly income. Yeah, and so that's a no for me, dog. We currently pay $1,500 in rent with everything but electric and internet included. Yeah, that's a no from any sane person. $1,000 less than half a monthly income. Yeah, that's not doing it, dog. I just want to say thank you, everyone. I appreciate all the feedback. Yes, when the car is paid off, we'll have $3,200 plus $1,500 towards a mortgage. We could pay off the car debt and my wife's nursing school debt and have $44K in the bank again with only my small student debt remaining a year from now. It would just be convincing her to part with our hard-earned money. Well, you got to do that. Again, thank you for all the feedback and comments and clarifying in the baby steps where the house purchase actually takes place. Yes. And if you didn't know, because that is one of the missing baby steps, even on Dave's list. And I thought they were going to change it because there was one time, since I bring this up all the time when I'm doing these streams, I brought it up one time and it did say 3B there. It did have the 3B baby step in there. And so I don't know if that's something coming soon, or I thought it was going to come recently when they released the 20th anniversary edition of the Total Money Makeover book. And so I thought that's when it was gonna happen. But yeah, it was up for one day, and then the next time I don't know how long, but it was up for a minute or so, at least while I was looking at it, and then the next time I brought it up, it was gone again. So step 3B, step 0, the missing baby steps, forthcoming video on that. I'm also gonna make one on beginning investing, and those are my two non-live financial videos that will be coming next. I'll try not to get distracted by another song. All right. So, okay, so we're done with that. Clarifying in the baby steps where the house purchase actually takes place. Yeah, because it doesn't say in the baby steps as they are. It doesn't say when to do that. So I know you want to keep them short and sweet, but the way they are, there's so much confusion. But you know what? Here's what I'm going to say about that. If you had it clearly on here where it says 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time, do not move forward. Even if you had that, people would be still like not understanding, and did 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time, only after the first 3 are done. If you had that clearly stated on here, people would still be like, what? So it might help some people though with understanding it. I mean, I don't know how you can look at this list and say, I mean, it's not logical for you to be doing that. I mean, this is all a lot of cash flow out. It's not logical for you to do all of them at the same time. Alrighty, let's see. Okay. Flamingo Lemon. Reducing retirement contributions to fund daycare. No, not recommended, but it's got to come from somewhere. If you got to have daycare, if it's worth it. If the lower income earning parent only makes a little bit more than the daycare cost, then it's not worth it for that person to work. The person can daycare for the child themselves, and they can make money on the weekends or figure out something to do in the home, that is, work from home or something like that, or some kind of side business where they can make side hustle that they can make extra money that way. Been cared for by grandparents his whole life. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law is sick and increasingly unable to care for him, so he will be moving into daycare part-time. Oh, just for part-time? In our area, this is horrifically expensive. We have no debt except our mortgage. 12. You don't have any debt except a mortgage, and you still can't afford that part-time? We have a 6-month plus emergency fund. Okay, so you can use anything above 6 months for that, because you're not supposed to have extra savings. That actually is supposed to be going to pay that house off early instead of having extra other than 6 months. We contribute to our son's 529, which if you don't have any debt and you have the full emergency fund, which you do, then yeah, you're doing steps 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time. But with daycare adding what amounts to an additional mortgage payment every month, I'm starting to feel a lot of pressure. You got to look at the lower income earning parent and see if that's anywhere near the amount. Whoops, that did not. Well, added that to a new window, so you can't see that window. So I will just close that window. There we go. And we'll try again. Open in new tab, which is what I thought I clicked. All right, hashtag dementia. Okay. I currently contribute 20%. All right. Does it say do 20% right there? Does it say do 20% right there? No, it doesn't. And let's check Dave's list just in case the Dave Ramsey subreddit people got it wrong. Oh, look, it says 15% there too. Company matches 6%. I'm 40 and I have about 500K saved. I'm wondering if it would make sense to drop my contribution to 10%, which would free up enough so I can comfortably break even every month. It would only be for 2 years or so to get to pre-K within the school system. My husband has a pension, so he can't address his contribution. He probably needs to up his. So he is investing 15% because his pension contribution only counts for half of the percentage that it actually is. It seems Dave is very pro-family, so I'm wondering where this predicament would fall out. Again, if you say, I mean, it's worth a mortgage payment. How much is the lower income parent making? It has to be significant above the amount of the daycare. So, and does it say it's horrifically expensive? So it's probably the house might be expensive too. So they might be house poor as well. So let's see if there's any extra information here. There we go. If it all works out, house will be paid in 8 years. So that's too far. That doesn't address the daycare situation. 20% to catch up. You're not supposed to catch up while you still have a house payment. Seeing if there's more stuff. Could switch it out to a regular 401k instead of Roth. No, don't do that. Do the Roth 401k. Is only going to increase 3. And what is it? That's what I'm wanting to see is how much is this income? Yeah, need to reduce. Yeah, the 529 investment. Yes, get rid of that. Yeah, your budget will tell you based on your priorities, right? And your priorities might be wrong as well, though. Dave is incredibly pro baby steps, right? He's not going to say, well, if you have a family, you can go against my financial advice. He's not going to say that. He's not going to say, if you have a family, the same thing as a family. If you have a house that has 2 bedrooms in it, and you have 2 very small children, guess what? That's enough. They can sleep in the same room. So you don't need, especially in a high cost of living area when you do not make a high cost of living salary. That's dumb. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so he's not, yeah. So the person did not say the income, but that's what I would look at first. Of course, you always look at, whenever you're having any kind of issue like that, we don't have enough money for X, then you may need to X off of the something else off of the budget. So, but yeah, I would look into the income. Maybe you take 2 years off of work instead. Let's see. Avionics engineer 06 car home sink funds. Okay, hello community. I have 3 primary sinking funds. Sinking, now it's just sink. Because it's not all involved with plumbing. You might have to have a sinking fund for something different, like vehicle, home, and general taxable brokerage. The sinking funds that's not a sinking fund. Unless it's for a particular item that you're using the brokerage to save up for. Let's see, car's fairly new and all the expensive stuff has been done recently to my home. I own 2024 Mazda, whatever. And on the home side, roof was replaced a few years ago, so you don't need any of those, or at least not big ones. Let's see what else. As I successfully opened the new tab on the first try that time. I currently have the car. I invested in USFR floating rate treasury. Yielding is 5.33%. Taxable brokers invested in Dave recommendations. But what's it for though? If it's not for any of that, then unless you're in step 7, you would be applying that money to the baby steps instead of having additional savings other than the emergency fund. Looking to get some consensus on what you think is the best place to store sinking funds. It's wherever it needs to be. So if you know you got an upcoming expense, but it's not going to be upcoming for 5 years, you can use the market as a savings account, as a piggy bank, to do that. And Dave does that himself. That's where he puts all of his real estate buying money, and that's where he does use an index fund. He uses an S&P 500 index fund for that. For retirement savings, he does recommends managed mutual funds. How much should go into each fund? Not much. I mean, it's not just vehicle, no matter what happens with it. Or home, no matter whatever happens with it. Because the problem with that is it tends to be especially for home, it tends to be a fun. Oh, if you just see something and you want it, then the money comes out of that. So that's a negative. Good, Betty. So you gotta have an idea, an actual expense that's coming up. So I mean, if you want to put a little bit in there, you can, but it's not gonna be something that's crazy, especially enough to appreciably grow in a taxable brokerage. So. If you have step 7, you can do any of this. That's fine if you're in step 7. But if you still have a mortgage, that's a negative. I know they say to put a percentage of your home's value in the fund per year. Do they say that? I don't know if they say that. Is this really necessary if you consider it fully funded? No, if you can pay for whatever. It is. I mean, at this point, what you're trying to do is so you don't even need insurance for it because you'd be self-insured because you have so much money. 50K in the car fund and 50K in the home fund. So if you do not have, if you still have a mortgage, if you are not in step 7 and you still have a mortgage, then that $100,000 needs to be put on the mortgage. You're doing it wrong in that case, but it doesn't say here. Do you think there's anything that could happen to the house or car that would cost more than that? THAN, not then. Then is a time or a condition. Than is comparable, a comparison word. That without being covered by insurance. Sure, anything could happen. The whole thing. Tornado or hurricane, take out the whole thing. It's possible. Also, would you leave the funds or invest them in the market? If I wouldn't do any of that. Again, if you're in step 7, you can do whatever you want to. The problem with using the market for any type of savings like this for a sinking fund is that you got to have at least 5 years, Dave recommends. And that's because in any 5-year period, it's highly, highly likely that the market is going to be up at the end of it. And so if you don't have 5 years, then it's more likely that the market would be down right when you need the money. And so then you've wasted your time. Then you would have been better off in a high yield savings account. And so that's what you got to think about there. But maybe somebody else that's just doing it wrong. They should change it should be r/doing it wrong instead of the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Emergency fund is in low to no risk treasury. Yeah, the emergency fund doesn't be in treasuries. The emergency fund has to be immediately accessible. Emergencies do not wait for 1 to 3 day transfers, my friend. So again, you're doing it wrong. Yes, the market will inevitably go down at right, and that's the same thing I was saying. But I only need about 2K a month to survive on in cash, job loss. Yeah, so you're doing it wrong. Again, the emergency also doesn't wait. Again, the 1 to 3 days for a transfer, you got to have debit card or check writing privileges on that emergency fund. And being invested in treasuries, you don't. So you are gonna get the Janosch from Ghostbusters 2.
If everything you're doing is bad, I want you to know this.
So I mean, even in step 7, you have to have immediate access to your emergency fund. All this other, this saving for this and this saving for that, and this the general. And so the problem with those is if you are not in step 7, the problem with those is you could use that money for anything else other than putting towards the mortgage, and you're supposed to put it towards the mortgage. Supposed to be in step 7 before you're doing all this dilly-dallying and everything else. And so he didn't say if he was or not, I don't think. Let's see. Nope. No flair at all. I guess he doesn't like to talk about his flair. All right. Waffles 21. Save for a home while deep in student loan debt. That is going to be a negative, good buddy. So it's not here. So I can't, if you just look at the baby steps without watching Dave for a while and checking out some of his other videos and stuff, which you would get to it in pretty short order, I think you would find out about step 3B. Step 3B is where you save the down payment, and that's after you've done steps 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time. So we got one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, and then step 3B after that. And so if you're still on step 2 with the student loan debt, then you're not able to do if you're following Dave's advice, that is, you're not able to do the down payment. So that's a negative. Me and my wife, that's my wife and I, is what that should be, are in the beginning stages of our financial lives. Great. That means you got a lot of time. Quit being in such a hurry. That's dumb to be in a hurry and do things incorrectly. Our monthly take-home pay is about $4,600. We have around $118 in student loan debt. The minimum monthly payment on loans coming $950 a month starting in December. This is our only debt. We drive used cars that are paid off. Great. That part is good. One thing that's good. After all living expenses, we usually have around $3,000 a month, give or take, in excess. Current monthly rent, utilities come out $1,250. I'm aware of the baby steps, but I don't care about them. Oh, so this person does understand. Just doesn't want to do it. Let's delve in. Let's find out more. I'm aware of the baby steps and that buying a home should not even be a thought in our minds with all the debt we have. Yep. But a lot of other homes in our area have estimated monthly payments around what we currently pay now in rent. That's not the idea. The idea is that you would be not putting the down payment amount on your debt. And so you're not getting out of debt, and you already have debt, and you shouldn't have debt when you buy a house. Let's see. So that part doesn't matter. We just need to save for the down payment. That is the entire problem. That you would be doing that instead of paying off your stupid debt. We just put around $10,000 a high yield savings account that we plan to use as down payment one day. $10,000 instead of putting it on the debt. You can do your own thing. It's fine, but then why ask on the Dave Ramsey subreddit? That drives me crazy that people do that. That is crazy. I mean, you don't have to run your life and your financial decisions through Reddit or the baby steps. You don't have to do that. So why do that? I don't get it. We don't allow our standard baked savings account to dip below $1,000, right? That's the, yeah. For those with experience in paying off the student loan debt, buying a home, etc., I'd love some direction or advice on what we should be doing in our situation. Should we even consider saving for a home yet? No. Should we be dumping all our excess money into our loans monthly? Yes. Any experience advice is requested? Yes. Yes. Boom, ba-doom, boom, boom, boom. Buried in a mountain of debt and your income is insufficient. Exactly. Looking to see if the OP has weighed in with extra information about their income or whatever. Doesn't look like it. Some loan programs allow as little as 3% down. Yeah, those are not advised by Mr. Ramsey either. So, yeah, you can get a payday loan and a car title loan as well. Not good advice. That much is certain. Let's see. There's the OP. We're not cash flowing or masters, unfortunately. So they're just doing everything wrong. It's fine. They can do everything wrong. Good luck. When that doesn't work out, baby steps will still be there for you. Mr. Ramsey and his company will always have a job. Talon 72997, traditional versus Roth retirement plans. I've heard some people, in this case George, well, he's not just some people then. I would consider him better than some people as far as taking financial advice from. Suggests that Roth post-tax retirement plans are a better option than traditional 401k pre-tax plan. Yep. If I do the math, it appears to come down to future tax rates. For example, no, it doesn't. What it comes down to is the amount of growth that you'll be doing. And so if you have over 10 years in the market, and the average person asking this is about 30 or so, so you have 30 more years in the market. So guess what? Your amount of contributions is going to be this low on the bar graph from there to there. And your growth is going to be that high. What do you want to pay taxes on? The freaking contributions that are small or the growth? Dumb. If I do my math, do this math. Look at the amounts. Look at the amounts. What do you want to pay taxes on? Mic drop. I don't want to drop my mic because then I have to buy another one maybe. Mike Long, a lot of G's on the end. Success stories from completing baby step 6. I'm currently on baby step 4, working towards investing 15% for retirement, but I'm already looking forward to tackling my mortgage in baby step 6, okay? For those who paid off their home, how did you stay motivated during this long process? Any success stories or milestones that helped you keep going? I don't have any experience paying it off early in step 6. I did pay it off by selling it. And at the time I did it many moons ago, my ex-wife and I were lucky that we were able to break even, just about break even on that. I think we had to fork over a little bit of cash, but it wasn't much. So I don't have anything on that. But that is make sure there's nothing wrong with planning. There's nothing wrong with thinking about the future. But some people it's especially when you're done paying off debt and you're started baby step 3 and then 4. There's not much you can do except work and make the money to do the baby steps. And so you do go into more overthinking mode as far as the future baby steps. But any success stories or milestones that helped you keep going? Again, I haven't done it, but I would imagine having it paid off, which is huge for retirement. Some people say, no, you should be investing instead, but you don't think not having a mortgage or rent payment in retirement is a big deal? That's a huge deal for retirement. Glass football 4882. Should I treat my house with high interest rate as bad debt? Well, there's no such thing as good debt. Now, the mortgage is the only debt that Dave won't yell at you about, but you do have to do it within his guidelines, or he will. He'll tell you bought too much house and your house is poor. And so if it has a high interest rate, I mean, any debt is bad debt. So you trying to think of something as good debt, you're going against the whole idea of the Ramsey steps and the Ramsey advice. So that's the whole idea against it. So why do you need to classify it? I'm wondering. Let's see. Currently on baby step 2 and was wondering, well, you don't have time to do that anyway. If you're on step 2, you need to be working extra instead of thinking so much. And was wondering, as I'm finishing to pay off my car, should be done by the end of October. Excellent. If I should treat my mortgage as a bad debt as well with 7.25 interest. Yeah, they're all bad debt. You don't pay it off early. You don't put that in step 2 unless you can pay it off in like 2 years. If you can pay it off in 2 years, then Dave is fine with you doing that. Let's see. Take me only 5 years. Yeah, that's too long. Too long. Do the steps in order, the way they're written. Everybody wants to try it. Oh, my idea would be better. Would it be a big deal to not invest 15% on 401k and keep my 6% and 6% match for my employer while I power through paying off all my debt? No, you're not supposed to do that while you're paying off regular debt. Baby step 2, no investing. No investing till baby step 4. I got a great idea for you, Glass Football 4882. Do the baby steps the way they're supposed to be done instead of trying to improve them. You do not need to improve on something that is not broken. Sema Altman. We finally did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Lois Sema, we did it. We paid off the last of my wife's student loans. Yeah, we did it. Okay, I'll stop before Dora sues me. My wife and I paid off our cars, student loans, and credit card debt of almost $100K total. Now all we have is our mortgage, so not totes debt free, but we'll get there. Thanks everyone. It's really nice to be part of such a positive community. Debt free flair there. Excellent. Congratulations. Matter of fact, there we go. That again, Sema Altman. Debt free, on the debt free page. Not stage, but debt free page right here. Cool. Good job. All right. Substantial comb. Maybe got substantial hair. I have not known what that is like for many years. 4295. Advice on credit card debt. Well, baby step says you save $1,000 in cash and then you pay off all debts, of which credit cards would be part of that. So what next? Advice on my current situation. So, I mean, it's debt, so you just apply it to here. So these details don't matter. Graduating college, May 2023. Corporate finance job, July 2023. Okay, great. 72K. Okay, great. Keep going on the baby steps. Company matches 50%, 401k. So you wouldn't do that while you are still paying off debt. It doesn't say skip to investing. But what about if I have a match up to 8% for 50%? So he has to do 8% to get a 4% match is the math on that there. And so that's a no. That's a no on that from Dave, because you don't do that until you have all your debts paid off, until you have your full emergency fund, and then that's when you do retirement investing. If you're already doing it before you find Dave, then you stop contributing just for a hashtag season while you get your financial act together and pay off that debt and then get that full emergency fund, and then you can have at your match at that point. Oh, let's just see if there's anything else interesting with that. With the, you know, when they do the bullet points, you know, that's like, you know, that takes a little bit of extra effort to do the bullet points. So let's see if there's paid off the last 5,000 of my student loans. Okay, used my signing bonus last year to pay off my car. Great. Earned 1,300 gas, but doesn't matter. Recently paid off 1,600 on one credit card, but still have 2 remaining. Yes. And so that, remember, Apple Card. Yeah, Apple's a bank now. So is Facebook. All the platforms want to be banks now. So 20% APR. That's pretty dumb for a college graduate in finance. Corporate finance, though, so this is what they teach you to tell people to do in corporate finance. So, and that's what they want people doing. So, yep, dumb. My plan is to make the minimum payment on the Apple Card and pay off the other credit card as quickly as possible. That would be the right thing to do because of it being a lower balance. Yes. Do you have any advice on how to approach this? Stop investing. And how quickly I can realistically pay off these debts? A lot faster if you stop investing. And stop getting the 1,700 in company stock options. If you can sell those already, you would sell those as well. You're doing it wrong. While I know the situation could be much worse, I'm still a bit uncomfortable with it. You're supposed to be uncomfortable when you have debt. Because having debt is uncomfortable. That's why you pay that crap off before you do any of the other stuff you're trying to do. Investing and so forth. All right. So yeah, the advice, as I said to begin with, and you know, none of the stuff he said made any difference. The advice is to, yes, you would pay that off. And you would not be investing. Answers right there in the baby steps. Most questions are answered by the baby steps easily. Pristine Cry 7163, sinking funds and emergency fund. Okay, that is 2 different things. Hi all, baby step 3. We have approximately 10K in what we call sinking funds. Includes stuff like once yearly payments, Christmas vacation, property. And if you don't have baby step 3 done yet, there's no vacation. Property tax, fine. You got to sell that. Fine. Have a sinking fund for that. Christmas, fine. Have one for that. But vacation, there's no vacation when you don't have a full emergency fund. You're doing it wrong. Can I count my sinking funds towards our emergency fund target? No. No. Known upcoming expenses do not affect the emergency fund. The emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of your living expenses for an emergency, not for an upcoming expense. So no. Can't count my sinking funds toward our emergency fund target. Oh, can I? Seems like a current emergency, we'd certainly use them. Thoughts? Yeah, you can use them if you have to, if you don't have enough emergency fund, but they shouldn't be considered part of it. So, I mean, you know, you just find another way to pay the property tax later, or you start saving up again for it. But yeah, vacation, this is why you don't do vacation in step 3. You finish it first. And so there's no vacation. Your vacation sinking fund is doing baby step 3 work instead of vacationing. So, yeah. Nobody wants to do the baby steps, kids. Nobody wants to do it like you're supposed to do it. INR, KRS, teaching kids. I keep hearing that kids should use part of their pocket money for giving, part for spending, and part for saving. Yes. Now, forgive me if this is a dumb question. Okay, I will. But saving for what? Something they want to buy, maybe? Saving forever? Saving for car, eventually? So, saving for college? When do they get to use this money? Surely we're not asking kids to save for retirement. No. What are they saving for? Like I said, the car in college is the only things that they would need, but they could be saving it for a large purchase that they want to buy, and you don't want to get it for them as a gift at something like birthday or Christmas. And you don't want to do that. You want them to pay for it, and so then they have to save for it over time. And then when they have enough money, then they can buy it. So, yes. So, not a dumb question, but I don't think that's that hard to figure out. You figure out what expenses kids would have, and that's only it. And most often that's going to be a toy that they want. Or if you are willing to pay for them for a very cheap phone, and they have it in their heart that they need a more expensive phone, then they could save for that kind of thing. But basically, car in college would be what it would be for in the future for them. Solitarius Lupus 56, final year student in South Africa. Doom, 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 doom. What would Dave do? Flare there at the bottom. Oh, let's go ahead and open up the entire thing. Good day, everyone. Hi, guys. I'm in a pretty unique situation. So many people type that. And I don't even know where to begin to ask for advice and moping and glean some wisdom from the kind people here. That's not too bad, I guess. I'm a final year information technology student, 25 man, and will be graduating with no student loans or any debt. Excellent. I am planning on moving to Cape Town soon. During my studies, I managed to get a sales job with flexi hours and managed to pay for my own studies partly when my parents' business suffered due to the pandy. Things have improved and I can save all of my money now. Okay, great. In the year and a half since then, I have managed to make about $420,000, which is $22,938 in commission after taxes. Okay, great. Problem is, when I compare it to what Americans make, it is laughable. Yeah, and I mean, that's not going to change unless you defect to America. To give you an idea, my student allowance I've been living off of is roughly $63.85. Yeah, it's a different economy there. Absolutely. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're going to stay there, you have to embrace the reality of that economy. That buys me food. I can go out for a drink and play pool. Right. So it's not that much money, but it also goes a lot further than it goes here. So you can't think about it in terms of U.S. dollars and what U.S. dollars will buy in the U.S. I have a cat, and I even used to smoke with that budget. Okay. Congratulations on quitting. Average salary is $1,468 a month compared to $49.48 in the United States. Again, don't compare it to the United States, because you also would have to compare it to expenses as well. The amount of the expenses here are more. So you stop comparing yourself to somewhere you're not, because our economy has nothing to do with yours. I don't have a car, so I can walk everywhere. Great. Issue is that clearly I'm ahead of the curve, but don't know how far ahead of the curve I am due to the huge income disparity between Americans and South Africans. Dollar also goes a lot further here. Yes, that's what I said. So I'm not sure how to gauge my position accurately. You base it only on that economy if you're not moving elsewhere. If I convert my earnings to dollars, it seems laughable. Do not do that. There's no reason to do that. Why would you ever need to convert it to dollars for no reason? But is the equivalent to about 1.3 times the average salary before taxes. I'm very proud of myself, especially since my parents are poor at my age. Can anyone give me some insight, please? Yeah, it's okay. So The problem, if I convert my earnings to dollars, you would need to do that unless you're going to move to the United States. So if you're not moving to the United States and you convert your earnings to dollars, unless your country takes U.S. dollars to pay for things, you're going to have to convert it right back. So the whole converting and comparison thing is not necessary. Because again, you can't just look at the income. That's what I tell all the people all the time in the Ramsey show chat, where they're like, oh, this person makes $100,000 and I don't make that much, so I can't relate to them. They also have probably more expenses than you do, probably more debt than you do, and probably a higher percentage of debt to their income than you do as well. So they have debt as well. And so you should be able to relate to anybody with debt if you have debt. And so granted, once they, sure, with a higher income, once they figure it out and decide to follow Dave's advice, then yes, they have a bigger shovel. And when they start doing good with their money, they can make a lot more progress faster than you. And that's nobody's fault. You can try to make more money if you want to. Nobody is stopping you from doing that. And so this person, this is almost like the reverse of that. It's like, why try to, you're not dealing with our economy here. You're dealing with your economy. And so, I mean, you can look into it as well, and you can see the expenses and see what the difference is there. And then check the average amount that's left. You can Google that, like the amount of extra money that people have in the United States and that people have in South Africa after expenses every month. And you can see what percentage that is to their income and compare that to yours. But I mean, that's a lot of unnecessary math is what I'm going to call that. And so, because you're not living here, so it doesn't matter. It only matters what it will do there. You're doing great there. Sounds like you're doing fine there. You can always try to make more money. Nothing wrong with that, but it seems like you're doing fine there. No, I forgot to move over back to the stream. There we go. All right. That was just me off of the stream for a second while I played the Price is Right theme. What time is it? Renatredoy. Do not know what that means. Get clear assessment. Just completed my assessment, but hoping to get suggestions, ideas on careers I could pursue. Been getting a lot of these lately. Worth noting, I do feel like this test gave a pretty accurate general assessment, so I'm not concerned about the misrepresentation. Genuinely looking for suggestions to consider. Thanks in advance. It's in advance, not advanced. Logic, instruction, inspection. Researching, like teaching or anything that would involve any kind of research or analyzing. Obviously, so any of those careers that would be involved in that. Soy pars. So you know what you can do? Another thing you could do. Google. You could use the Google. What jobs require logic or are best suited to logic? Instruction, inspection, researching, finishing, and analyzing. You could do that in the Google. Soy pars, high yield savings, or investing in S&P ETFs. Again, to put it in the market, you would need, I can't highlight S&P ETF. To put it in the stock market to use for a savings account, you have to have at least 5 years before you need the money. If it's just general savings and you might need it before that, or if it's the emergency fund, that's a no for me, dog. You gotta, if it's an emergency fund, you have to have immediate access to it. Emergencies do not wait 1 to 3 days for the transfer. Emergencies aren't kind like that. I'm wondering if it's smarter to put excess money in a 4.5% APY savings account or spread it on relatively safe ETFs on Robinhood. People love the Robinhood for some reason. I'm currently spreading 300 a week over, okay. My portfolio has about 10K in it. My high yield savings account is about 45K in it already. Should I continue investing weekly or just put it in the savings account? For reference, I have no debt and already contribute 15% to my 401k each pay period. Okay, I also plan to put a down payment on a house in the next 2 years. Well, save for the down payment instead of doing that. You would have your emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses. I would recommend, if you're going to buy a house, I would suggest 6 months of living expenses as the amount for your emergency fund. And then you don't put money in that anymore. All that becomes your down payment fund. So, I mean, the stuff that's in there already, fine, leave it if you want, or you can cash that out and use that additionally for your down payment. But the high yield savings is fine for a down payment fund as well. So, I mean, that is up to you, but the market could be down right when you want to buy. So that would be the danger in that, using the market for a piggy bank. Code of honor with a U in it. Not how we do it here in Arkansas or anywhere here in the Estados Unidos. Code of honor 1, 2, 3. To sell or not to sell the car. 36K car loan. That makes me say yes. And if we sold, we could only get 20. Yeah, but that gets rid of the 36K car loan. You can get a 16K car loan. Dave would much rather you have a 16K car loan instead of a 36K car loan. We would then have to finance another car. Nope, you wouldn't. Since we're in baby, you would only pay cash. So, I mean, but realistically though, you could, instead of the 16, yeah, see, you're having to get a lot of money here for that. And that's what we call a real underwater car, kids. That's almost half. So it's only worth about half. Also, do check private sale. Do private sale instead of selling to a dealer. Because a dealer is not going to give you as much as you can get in private sale for your expensive car. So, but even then, even if it has to be... so what did I say, 16? So even if you have to get a $21,000 loan to replace the 36 to allow you to pay off that car loan and also buy a 5K car, look for one cheaper than that though, obviously, you could do that as well. That's fine. It's fine to replace the 36K car loan, getting rid of it with a 21K. But you are kind of, I mean, that when the numbers start getting closer together on the new loan that you have to take out, even though it's a little bit less, it makes less sense to do it. But, obviously you're not getting anywhere with the 36K car loan. That's going to make it take longer. So let's see, is it wise to sell at a loss of 16K or just, again, make sure that's private sale on that. And pay it off since we're already halfway through the loan. You're halfway through the loan, so that was a 72K car loan. So I think we found the problem, and that's why I have financial problems. Obviously, that's going to affect many other things as well. Having that much of a car loan, crazy. But yeah, David's fine with you getting a smaller loan to replace a larger loan. Kate Kuchar, why? Okay, why are there people part of the subreddit who clearly don't follow or give advice? Dave would suggest stop recommending HELOCs, bankruptcy, consolidations, etc. Yeah, they're gonna do it. It's the internet, but it does seem excessive. I agree. But I mean, even the main thing is that people that post questions on here don't want Dave's advice, and it's the Dave Ramsey subreddit. So, yep, that's the internet for you. Internet giveth, the internet taketh away. Island homestead, house or student loan. That would be student loan. No buying a house until you do that. Now, if you have a house already, I'm pre-answering the question. If you have a house already, you would pay the student loan off before you pay the house off early. All right, 48, female who was a stay-at-home mom until 2021, 153K in student loans, and that's the exact people that shouldn't be getting 150K, 153K in student loans. People that are going to be stay-at-home moms. You need to think about that when you sign for that freaking loan, and how much time. Oh, I won't be working, so who's going to pay this? Due to graduate with PhD by the end of the year. Started working 2021 with current gross pay 93K. Also bought a duplex very cheap for 75K through a family member. Though a family member is purchasing one of the units from me. Okay, that'll bring in some money. The issue is that for some reason I'm already in repayment. Oh, on the student loans, I guess. House loan was seller provided, and it is 5 years at 4%, beginning January 2024. Okay, so already doing that. Been paying $4,000 a month, Gazelle intensity, and we owe about 40K on the house. You don't pay the house off early. You don't pay that off early. You pay the student loans off instead, because those are baby step 2. Baby step 6, paying the house off early, mortgage off early, has its own baby step all by itself. Student loans are not special enough to have their own category. Good boy, sweater Triz. All right. Is that some of that Gen Z speak? Like the, what is it? Skibbity toilet Riz? Is that what that is? I don't know what that is. So I just finished my budget for June. Baby step 2 flare down there. Here's my budget. Every dollar for June 2024 looks like exclamation point. Very exciting. Total income 6,342. Exceptionally high a month this month for a couple of different okay, great. It's extra. Okay. Housing 19%. Okay, great. Transportation 8%. Food 175, 3%. Yes, I can eat on 175 a month just fine as a single guy in the city. Yeah, excellent. Yep, you would think that yeah, I don't spend that much though. I don't spend that. I like max, even if I'm like buying other household goods and include that with it, I'm at 120. So you could go down lower than that actually, but 3% I guess isn't bad. Personal 120, a little bit of fun so I don't go nut. Subscriptions 2%. All right, fun money you can put in there. Oh, in debt, of course. Okay, so here we go. And health, $50. Okay. Debt, $4,315. That is 68% of what? $68% of your total income. I mean that you're not paying. That's not a monthly expense though. That would be the oh, that's probably how much they're putting towards it. Oh, is that how much you're putting? That's not the total debt. I get it now. That's the amount you're putting towards it. Okay, yeah, that is good. That is gazelle intense enough, I would say. I mean, you can always go further. If you make extra money, you can always put extra on the debt. Nobody will stop you from doing that. Honestly, though, this feels great. If all goes to plan, I'll have 2 of my 4 remaining debts paid off. Great. I would love to know how much debt total that is. Let's see if uses the free version. Taking the time to manually put in the, and when you have to manually put in the expenses, that lets you see those expenses one more time, and so you know where your money's going. So that's a great idea. I'm trying to, it's hashtag season, using all the buzzwords. Side job Starbucks, breakfast for free with food markouts. Great. Packet free. Okay. I was just wondering if said did not say what the debt was. Oh, I'm in a relationship. She's on board with me doing this, though not that she has to be, and she's paying off her debt in baby step 2 as well. We don't go out to eat. We only go out for like coffee and drinks with our friends if there's room for in the budget at the time. So that's great on that. Cool. Nice to get some very optimistic ones. People making progress. Gunnar Nova, how to break news to wife and kids about what? I'm so sick of this life I've fallen into, right? Do not resent my family that I have chosen. I'm Canadian, eh? Live in a booming town of 12K people. 4 years ago, it was only 6K. But something happened and everyone in the city flocked here, okay? I have 3 kids, 13, 9, 7. Wife is disabled for last year and social assistant is non-existent currently. Make 26 an hour, 44 hours, then usually put in 20, 27 hours of overtime, okay? After tax, I make approximately 22 to 2400 bi-weekly. Child tax is $950. That's the income. Is that child tax credit? What are they doing in the Great White North up there? Boom. Where is the child tax is $950. I don't know what that is. That's the income. Here it comes where I want to kick a stool. I haven't heard that before. Maybe that's Canadian saying. I'll have to ask CP about that. Rent is $13.50. The place is a dump. We want out, but literally can't move. That's not how you spell literally. Due to increased prices within 500 kilometers, just to rent a room is $1,000. Yeah. Well, sometimes you don't move to a high cost of living area. Sometimes a high cost of living area happens where you are, and I mean that's nobody's fault. You have to deal with it, embrace the reality, and you have to move somewhere cheaper, maybe far away even. Finance the truck, 2015 truck, 4 years ago. Payments, yeah. So I mean that's not helping anything. If you don't have any debt, you're in much better shape when a place becomes a high cost of living area around you. Debt consolidation, insurance, child support. So again, I don't know what the child tax is on there. Maybe I'll look that up and get back to you next show, next Saturday. Internet. Cut off for phones, okay. Under medications, okay. Looking for a higher paid job for years, no callbacks, no nothing. That's again why you might need to change areas where you are. Anything else being taken up by new Canadians and only pays $20 an hour. Zero saved, no family support. Yep. How do I tell the kids we only get food bank items, ramen, beans, and rice for the next 2 years? Oh, and all holidays are canceled, no birthdays or anything. You just have to tell them. That's just the way it's going to be. I mean, you don't have to make some grand announcement either. You could just do that. And if they ask about it, then you can say this is just the way it's going to be for 2 years. It is not in a dark place, but I'm making sure my not experience is up to date. Dumb. Overreacting. Overreacting. Everyone here seems to be millionaires. That's not true at all. So dumb. Where are the really poor people that had nothing, no help, no luck? Again, and this made it out. I don't know. I don't know what some of this, like phrasing is, because it seems wrong even for Canada. But yeah, I mean, you got a problem. You can't live there anymore. You complaining about it, even you explaining it to your kids or your wife, is not going to help anything. So that's just the way it's got to be, like that. Or like I said, you can try to find a place over that range. Where'd you say it was? How many kilometers away? Where you can move to a city with a lower cost of living. At what point should I start baby steps 5? Well, you do 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time, but only if you have children. You don't save in advance for children you do not have. I've completed baby steps 1 through 4. Okay, so then you never complete 4. 4 is eternal unless you need to live off of that money in retirement instead of investing it still. Currently, I'm in a relationship and have no children, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few years I marry and have kids. Okay, so but you wait still until then. You do the baby steps without them. And so if you have a house, you would pay more on that then instead of doing the step 5. Okay, college. To be honest, thanks for being honest. After going through the college experience myself and seeing how people from my generation struggle with student loan debt, I'll be heavily pushing trades onto my kids. That's fine too. Should I begin step 5 or should I consider skipping to 6 and rolling back to 5 when kids are born? Absolutely. I mean, and you're not skipping because you do 4, 5, and 6 at the same time if they apply. So if 5 is not going to apply to you, you would do 4 and 6 at the same time. So only 15% into retirement while you still have a mortgage. Scream, a 4. Not sure how to proceed exactly. Okay, well, there's the baby steps written right here. That probably is going to be the way to go. Hi all, hi guys. I'm going to do my best here to try to make this brief yet straightforward post. Well, didn't make that happen. Didn't get it into one paragraph. So let's open the rest of it. Unfortunate times, lost job, no insurance, low back disc protrusion, health ordeal. Basically, what should I be doing right now in relation to Dave philosophy? Well, you have to have an income to make the steps work. If you don't have an income, you can't make the steps work. Back on the market, trying to find a new gig, does decent pay, okay. Boom, boom, boom. Single, trying to date, rent. I mean, the expenses don't seem crazy. For a single person, the food is crazy. That's too much. Too much. 400 is crazy for one person. Doesn't say child. No, didn't say child in there or children. Even for one adult, one child, 400 is excessive. Savings, 8,500. 500 high yield savings account. Or 5,000, excuse me. Credit card 5,000. So you don't save and have debt at the same time. You would be paying off your debt. Although you wouldn't do any of that, you would just be paying minimums on this and piling up cash while you do not have a job. You need to get a job first. Have access to my previous 401k retirement in 90 days. That's around 5,300. Should I cash that out? You would do that last after cashing the regular savings and the 5,000 HYSA, high yield savings account first. So, but you're just paying minimums right now until you get a job. And you just any other thing that's coming in, you would be just piling up that cash. So, but you got to get a job or you can't make any progress. Joker Friend 6. Where does launching kids into society relate to the baby steps? Is that a nice way of saying kicking them out when they're adults? Or is that overpaying for kid activities? Let's see, I'm past baby step 4, but working on getting 5 kids launched into society at varying degrees of financial independence. I have 1 in college now and 1 in high school. The other 3, we are helping out with vehicles so they can transition without massive debt until they build some wealth. Well, they're not building wealth until they're paying for college. If they're going to college, they're paying for that first. You don't try to build wealth while going to college all at the same time and take out debt for college. You would be cash flowing that. And of course, scholarships, grants. The 1 in college has 30K in college fund to use. Excellent. The high schooler can get some help from FAFSA due to we're a legal guardian and not parent. Oh, we're her legal guardian and not parent. Okay. So that's fine, but no loans. Manageable mortgage at 3%. Safer retirement. Building wealth is slow due to launch expenses. Indeed. Constantly robbing one account to pay another, of course, without revolving the credit card debt. Right. Well, you would be putting more to where the more money is required, which is probably the current 1 in college. I mean, and you just set a limit on what you're going to pay for and make them pay for the rest of it. There's launching children fit in the baby steps 4, 5, and 6. It's fixed. It's 5. I don't know what your definition of so children can have financial success on their own means. I don't know what that means to you, but 5 is to save for your children's college. It doesn't say save for all of it. It's up to you as to how much you want to help them. And you're already helping with cars, etc., etc. You set the limit on what you want to help them with. And so I don't know what you think that means. So, and I don't know why you're having such of a, I mean, it can add up, sure, especially the later you wait to address it, which is too late when one's already in college. Let's see. For your kids are actually adults, yeah, do not have their own jobs, yeah, they work. Yep. Yep, full-time job, with a master's degree and no job, they have to get a job. The one with the master's degree has to get a job. There's no helping that. No. The one with the master's degree can get their job, and even if it's not in their field, because if they picked a dumb field, that's not your fault. For the one with the full-time job, they are saving for vehicles right now, so those 2 should have a soft landing. Okay, I mean, it's up to you how much of a soft landing you want to create. You are not responsible to make sure that they are spoiled financially. They can work on their own to help fund college and vehicles, etc., etc. So let's see. 1/3 of young adults are failed launch due to quit saying launch too. That's annoying. Due to leaving before financially ready, they come back in debt and take a few years to get out. That part may be true. That is, but again, it's not that's your responsibility. If they're an adult, you don't have to even let them come back. All that's up to you. All that's up to you. So you decide what amount, and if they don't like it, you can say, hey, there's 5 of you people. And yeah, call them you people. Say there's 5 of you people that I'm trying to help launch, to use your word, so it's only going to be this much per person, and be done with it. Make it the same amount for everybody. That'll be the easiest thing to do. We wanted to pay for our children's undergraduate degree and be debt free. There are minor scholarships. I have a couple of family members that moved in with us under 18, so we were the best to take care of them as well. Okay, you took that on, so that was your decision. So, you signed up for that. So you can't do this for everybody constantly, it sounds like. Because it sounds like constantly you're not able to take care of one because of the other. And so that's why you're having to take out of one account and put in the other one. Creating a budget for my wife and I is easy. Lawyers, IRS, elderly parents are difficult. Yeah, but that doesn't cost money. The lawyers do cost money, but the IRS, what's the problem with the IRS? Pay your taxes. Elderly parents, yep, but they're your parents, so you have to figure that out. The ages from 18 to 27. So again, they're not minors. You get to decide what you want to do for them. 80% launch. See, you have your own idea what you want to do for them, but you can't do it, it sounds like, for all of them equally. I have a problem with giving things unless they work themselves. Put half the money in the case of cars. They are borrowing. Yeah, I wouldn't participate in that. If you're paying for some and they're borrowing the rest, yeah, I wouldn't participate in that. So you get to do whatever you want to do, and sounds like you're trying to do too much with limited resources, and you can't make it. You don't have enough money to make it even for everybody. And it doesn't have to be. It's your money. You can say, well, this person gets more, or this person gets less, that kind of thing. You can do whatever you want to with your own money, but there's okay. So inside the baby steps, there's nowhere where your little plan, your little way of doing it helps. This just says save for your kids' college in step 5. So there's none of what you're doing. That would be, you can give your kids gifts, and that would just be in your budget. You can give them, monetary gift, Christmas time, or at any time you can do that, whatever you put in your budget, but that's not in the baby steps, and that's not a particular time that would be. So you just have to figure out the best thing to do for you. You shouldn't be, also need to make sure you take care of yourself and your wife first. You have to put on your oxygen mask before putting on other people's, assisting them with theirs. Dodie, debt-free, 130K paid off. Excellent. It was last payment. Feels so good. This was all student loan debt acquired during my husband's medical school and residency. Even though I don't agree with everything, I'm thankful to stumble upon Dave's stuff to inspire me to actually take our finances seriously, budget, and pay off debt. Yep, that is a good idea. Sometimes it pains me to think about how much less debt we would have acquired and how much sooner we would pay it off had I done this sooner. Yep, all of us think that. But we are here now. Yep. I also don't have anyone to celebrate with in real life, so this post is my hurrah. Yep, debt free. Yeah, people can't relate to paying off all debt because they're in it, so they can't relate to it. And a lot of people, your real friends should be happy for you no matter what, even if they don't understand it. If they see that you're excited about it, they should be happy for you, but that doesn't always happen either. 3 hurdles all within a week of each other. A debt snowball or use emergency fund. A debt snowball. Sounds like you, because of your hurdles, it sounds like you want to change some baby steps. Let's see. And of course, it's going to be longer than just a paragraph. Okay, not that long though. Baby step 2, flare. Hi, all. Been a weird week. On Monday, my son's daycare sent him a note starting in August. They're raising the price from $400 a week to $440. Okay, not ideal, but I can pay down a little less on the 2 remaining debts. Break down at the bottom. Or you can cut out something of your budget that you haven't cut out yet. So don't put yourself in the, oh, I have to just take the money from the remaining debt. See if there's something in your budget that you do not need, that's not a necessity, and then take the money from there instead. And I have 2 full months to prep. On Tuesday, I got the friendly reminder, car tax is due at the end of June. Car tax, all right? I knew it was coming, just forgot how close we were to June. Estimating this to be about $240. This morning, I get the first bill for my daughter's braces. Okay, so these, you knew these were coming. And so you not preparing for them, none of it's an emergency. This would be a new debt, unfortunately. And so that's not supposed to happen either. All that to be said, it's going to be significantly slow down my debt payment plan. However, I can use some of my emergency fund to help mitigate. Emergency funds should only be $1,000, not $1,322 anyway. So that should be there anyway. Let's see. Credit union, $18.94. Discover card, $265. Then plus the daughter's braces, and then plus the, but these are one-time expenses for the car tax and the and then you just budget the $440 for the daycare. Price raising. Snowball amount prior to this week, $215. So the Discover card would have been paid off in a few weeks. Please advise how to go about adjusting my snowball, or if you think it would be better to dip into the emergency fund. It's not an emergency. You do not use the emergency fund to do that. Emergency fund is not to create breathing room. The emergency fund is if you have an actual emergency, not something that you knew was coming. It's not anybody's fault, including Mr. Ramsey's, that you forgot about the car tax and you didn't plan accordingly for daughter's braces. This morning I get the first bill. You should have known that was coming ahead of time. And the price raising, that's $40 a month. $40 a month should not rock your world. So, and if you would have to do 40 less to debt, fine. But again, I would check the budget and see what else you can cut out of there to make up that difference instead of sending less to debt. Then that way the snowball doesn't slow down because of sending less. That way you speed up and get more gazelle because to make up of your lack of planning, lack of awareness. What is voluntary non-qualified deferred compensation plan? That's a good question. I don't know. This is new to me. Not voluntary non-qualified deferred compensation plan. You get money later for some reason. For the way the program permits deferral of current earnings on a tax deferred basis and can enhance post-retirement income. No, I'm going to take all my money and I'll invest it. Thank you. My assumption is it permits me to push more than the contribution limit into my 401k. I don't know about that. No, I don't think it does. It wouldn't be in the 401k. That's just a total different thing. Please check me if I'm wrong. Is this for rich people who have more money than they know what to do with? It may just be some kind of, well, let's go ahead and check it out. Voluntary non-qualified. Voluntary non-qualified. I saw it, yeah, whoops. Put your hands in the right spot. Qualified. See what that said one more time. Non-qualified deferred compensation. And it'll probably come up right here. Deferred compensation, the second one. Alrighty. Here's the AI overview. Thank you, Google AI. Voluntary non-qualified qualified deferred compensation plan is a contract between an employer and employee that allows the employee to defer a portion of their compensation until a future date. The employee can choose how much to defer each year from their salary, bonuses, or other compensation. Deferral date could be in 5 years, 10 years, or at retirement. Good option for employees who are already maxing out their qualified plans, such as 401ks. Okay, so if you're maxing out, you're right. It's for Richies. They allow employees to invest a large portion of their compensation on pre-tax basis, which can potentially have higher benefits than investing after-tax money. However, NQDCs are not risk-free, and if the company becomes insolvent, the employee could lose most of their money. You also got to look at what happens to that if you don't work there anymore to see how that affects it. So, okay. Also can make contributions in employers can make contributions that can count as well. So they can have like a match or whatever. Employee receives the compensation in the future. They will pay income taxes on it at that time. Yep. So yeah, it's a Richie thing. Good job smoking it out. You smoked it out. It's for Richies. If you're a Richie, congratulations. Loman 41288, 36-year-old man wanting to start a Roth IRA. What should I invest in? Which ETFs? Well, the name Roth IRA means that it's a retirement account. So for retirement, Mr. Ramsey advises not index funds, but managed mutual funds. Let's just see what people said. Why not? Prefer Schwab, small cap, mid cap, large cap, and S&P ETFs are solid. Again, see the reason Dave recommends managed funds is that they can make more. They got to be the right ones, obviously. Got to do some research into it, but they can make more than the index fund. And so VU, that's Vanguard's S&P 500 index fund. And again, my managed fund makes more than that, so this person's leaving money on the table. And that is very easy to just do that and chill, but then you're making less money. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Same thing for Wile E. Coyote 84. If you want to leave money on the table, that's fine. I don't know what Roth VT is. I don't know. Like probably another Vanguard. Every fund you can tell anything that starts with a V is going to be a Vanguard fund. If the money's the IRA, Robinhood. The kids love the Robinhood for some reason. Yeah, if the money's in there, but he has to still invest it in something though. So he's not good because he's looking for what he should invest in because he may only have cash there. No, there's just different stuff. There's your where would that be? I don't know what that would be. Oh, SPY is a S&P 500 index as well. Again, Vanguard. Target date funds. Now, Dave, now you know that, my chicken. You know darn well Dave does not recommend no target date funds. Dumb. Dumb. No, they don't need somewhere to park their money while they do some actual research on it. No, they don't. No, they don't. If you don't know anything about it, then fine. Put it in S&P 500 index fund while you learn more about it. But you're not doing target date stuff because that's even fewer monies. What link did they say there? The stock series. You do not do single stocks anyway. So none of this is a good example. None of the comments gave Dave's advice on the, and that's going to be some of the people on the subreddit that would actually advise, that would give Dave's advice, but they didn't bother to type in there. Akbaba, including myself. What to do next? But I did address it on the video, so if the person sees the video. Hey y'all, hi guys. I have a question about what to do next. A 30 man married to a 30F female. We bought a house 5 years ago that has $240K left on the mortgage, no debt and no kids yet. We make about $120K a year, so most of you people can't relate because that's too much money. So why don't you shut your brain off now? We are 1 month out from a full 6-month emergency fund. Great. My question is, what do we do next? We're currently only contributing about 9%. So you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't be investing while you were doing earlier baby steps. But with 1 month to go, no need to stop now. Just finish up the emergency fund. And then you will be in that step. But you feel like you're not moving on to anything because you've already been doing that, and that's your fault. So I plan to up that to 15%. Okay, so you might feel like you're doing something by being able to up that as soon as we have our out emergency fund fully funded. My question is, do we add extra to our mortgage to pay it off early, keep growing what is in our high yield savings account, or contribute to a brokerage? Okay, so no, you up it to, you put it in the tax advantage retirement account if you have one. If not, a brokerage is fine, but so you up that to 15%. Are you talking about the extra in the mortgage? So you're doing 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time. If you don't have kids yet, you're not doing step 5 yet. So you're just investing 15%. And wife should be as well. And perhaps a spousal Roth IRA if wife is not working. And then after the 15% investing and any investing for her that she does, after anything left over now, that's still your snowball amount left from the earlier baby steps. So you still have the snowball amount, and so anything else, you only have step 6 to do after you're doing the 15%. So you would put that on the house. And you don't invest it first and then pay it on the house. You can save more money on the mortgage interest by paying it off as you get it in each paycheck. All right, post call, book Wookie 2. Okay, post call. Do you ever wonder what folks do after the phone call? Sure, and we never get closure. Almost never find out about. Do they actually take the advice they get? Most people will not take the advice. I would think the people that call would be more likely to, but I don't know how much of a higher percentage that would be. And some of them you can tell they're not into it. Some people, they just call and they want to be validated for what they want to do, even if they're familiar with the baby steps. They can't see how their life goes into it for some reason, or they just don't want to. Let's see, do they actually take the advice they get, or just think, to hell with it, I'm going to do the thing I ask about anyways? Yeah, most people may already have decided to do it regardless, and they're just trying to get validation on it, and they call. For some reason, I don't know why, you can do your thing without even running it by Dave. You don't have to do that. It is your money. So you can do things, but they just, I guess, want to call it just in case it is. And some of them, of course, know it's not the right thing to do and want to call, hoping that he will say. I can hear the bit of defeat in people's voices when this team sticks to the baby steps. Yep, they lost. Yep. Dave has often said that. He said, no, this is not going to be the one time when I say get a student loan, that kind of thing. So it makes me wonder how many people actually take the team's advice. Yeah, no clue on a percentage of that. I would think not many. I mean, if if half of them do, that would be great. But most people aren't going to do this stuff, even if they bother calling and asking him. That's still going to be too much of a percentage. But if half of them are doing it, I would think that would be pretty cool. What's for next week? Have rentals, want to baby step. Probably selling the rentals. We'll get into that next Saturday. Alrighty. So once again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And you can schedule a free financial coaching. Oh, I'll wait till the ticker comes around. It'll be easier. Reminder for more financial stuff. You would have the answering your financial questions stream. Saturdays and Sundays, 4 p.m. is right there. And 2 below that is that one. And is the Ramsey show after show. And in between them is the music playlist. And it has about 9 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Give those a listen if you are so inclined. Okay, here we go. Now we're at the beginning. Schedule a free, oh, you know what? I could have just stopped it and started again. My bad. Schedule a free financial coaching consultation. Calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. If you have questions about coaching or anything on my YouTube channel at all, you can email coachstevemoney@gmail.com. That was fun. Donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Alternatively, Cash App, $ Coach, I can't do it, $ Coach Steve Money. Walmart gift card too. coachstevemoney@gmail.com as another alternative. Upcoming streams, of course, this very show, answering your financial questions. And that is Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we have 2 Ramsey show after show shows coming up in about 3 weeks. Wednesday, June 19th and Friday, June 21st. So those will be the next Ramsey show after show shows. And on that show, I do answer these questions at the end of the show, but I do a lot more stuff. I do some singing. You know you love it. What else did I talk about? Talk about the market that day, that week, that kind of thing. Any interesting news stories. I share like pictures and stuff. We do some show and tell sometimes when people send in things, that kind of thing. And we do questions at the end of that particular show. It's fun times. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. All right, come on. There we go. That's better. All right, please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you so much if you have done that already. Much appreciated. And of course, make smart financial decisions every day.